A human baby is almost useless at surviving. That sounds harsh, but look at the numbers. It cannot run, cannot hide, cannot find food, cannot fight. It can barely hold up its own head. And somehow, for roughly 300,000 years, humans kept these tiny, helpless creatures alive with no hospitals, no formula, no cribs, no antibiotics, and no parenting books telling anyone what to do. Here's the twist. The reason it worked has almost nothing to do with individual parents being naturally gifted at this. It's the same reason a lot of modern parents feel like they're failing at something humans have quietly pulled off for hundreds of thousands of years. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why. Compare a human newborn to almost any other animal, and it feels unfair. A foal can stand within an hour. A fawn can run within days, because if it can't move, it becomes food. A human baby can't even roll over. Here's why. As human ancestors evolved to walk upright, hips got narrower to support that stride. At the exact same time, brains were getting dramatically bigger. Those two trends collided. A baby's head needed to fit through a narrower opening at the exact moment it needed to be bigger than ever before. The compromise? Birth earlier. Send the baby out into the world before the brain finishes building, and finish construction outside the womb instead. That's why a human infant is born neurologically unfinished, what scientists call secondary altricility. Compared to a newborn chimp, a human baby is effectively years of brain development behind and has to cram most of that catching up into its first 2 years of life, in full view of the world, completely defenseless. Helplessness wasn't a design flaw, it was the price of a bigger brain. We tend to picture ancient parenting as one mother alone in a cave holding a baby while the father is out hunting. That picture is almost certainly wrong. A baby this unfinished, this demanding, needs constant milk, constant warmth, and constant attention for years, while the adult holding it also needs to find food, watch for danger, and keep the rest of the group alive. No single person can do both jobs all day, every day for years without help and not eventually break. If ancient mothers had genuinely tried to raise babies completely alone, the math simply doesn't work. A species doesn't make it to the present day balanced on one exhausted person's shoulders. So raising a baby was never one mother's job. It never could be. Babies were surrounded by people, mothers, fathers, grandmothers, aunts, older siblings, cousins, even unrelated adults in the same group. The whole tribe had a stake in every child. While the mother rested, someone else held the baby. While she gathered food, someone else watched the toddler near the fire. While she slept, someone else stayed half alert for danger in the dark. A baby didn't belong to a private household. It belonged to a web of people who were all quietly doing the same job in shifts. This is also part of why babies pushed humans to become so relentlessly social in the first place. A species that produces this helpless a newborn has to get extremely good at sharing the load, or it doesn't get a next generation at all. The tribe wasn't just protection around the edges, it was the actual nursery. Crying looks like a terrible survival strategy, screaming into a world of predators. But a cry isn't random noise. It's urgent, specific, and built to pull the nearest adult in immediately. Hungry, cold, wet, scared, too far from a body, the group could usually tell which fast. Anthropologists studying groups like the Hadza in Tanzania have recorded infants held or kept in close body contact for most of the daylight hours. Not as a technique, just because in that kind of life, that's where a baby stays alive. Held close, a baby stays warm without a blanket, feeds whenever it needs to, not on a clock, sleeps at night surrounded by other bodies near the fire, not alone in a room down the hall. And breastfeeding on demand did more than fill a stomach. It passed along antibodies a newborn's own immune system couldn't make yet. None of it was theory. It was just what worked, repeated constantly. This isn't a story where ancient parenting was gentle or that it worked every time. Many babies didn't survive. Infections nobody could treat, fevers nobody understood, birth complications, cold, animal attacks, unsafe water. A small cut could turn serious within days. This is actually one of the real reasons ancient life expectancy numbers look so low, not because every adult dropped dead at 30, but because so many children never reached adulthood at all. Child survival was one of the hardest, longest fights in human history, which makes the babies that did make it even more remarkable, not because of one lucky break, but because of years of unglamorous, repeated effort from everyone standing around them. Older kids were part of this system too. In many traditional societies, children spend enormous amounts of time around younger ones, watching them, carrying them, teaching them, protecting them, badly at first, then much better over time. A child learned how to care by being cared for, and then by practicing on someone even smaller than them. That's how humans pass down more than genes. They pass down warnings, skills, stories, rules. Don't touch that plant. Stay near the fire. Watch. Remember. A baby slowly became a child. A child slowly became useful. And the whole group turned raw helplessness into knowledge, one small lesson at a time. Which brings us back to the promise from the start of this video. Today, a lot of parents are raising children in a way humans were probably never built for. Alone in an apartment, far from extended family, awake at 3 a.m. with no one 2 rooms over to tap in, trying to be mother, father, village, teacher, and safety net all at once with no backup shift ever. It's not that modern parents are doing something wrong, it's that for most of human history, no single person was ever expected to do this job alone. A baby was never meant to have one exhausted adult carrying the entire weight of it by themselves. A baby was meant to be surrounded by a circle, and for most modern families, that circle simply isn't there anymore. Babies didn't just need humans to survive, they helped build what humans became. A creature this helpless forces cooperation. It makes adults share the load, makes siblings pay attention, gives grandparents a role, turns raw helplessness into something closer to family. Maybe helplessness wasn't only a weakness. Maybe it was a force, one that quietly built language, patience, and community around a single, crying, demanding, unfinished little person. A baby could not survive alone, so for most of human history, humans stopped trying to live like they could survive alone either. And somehow, through cold nights, hunger, and danger, that circle was enough for us to still be here at all.